Hey, what's up guys? Zach here from Zach and Tara Photography. Thank you guys for all the support. We just hit a big milestone for us, 100 subscribers. I know it's not the biggest accomplishment in the world, but it means something to us. It means that somebody's getting something out of our videos or learning something. I hope you appreciate the work that we've been doing. We want to continue to bring you more. So if you watch this video, a like and a subscribe would be super helpful and would definitely help us grow our channel. So thank you again, guys. So today's topic is going to be something that I'm sure many of you have thought about or in the process of thinking about. It's going to be about leaving your current job, your full-time job, to pursue a passion, whether that be photography, whether it be anything else, any other business venture that you're thinking about doing. I know that's not an easy thing to do. It's something that can be stressful. It can be a lot to plan out. You might be discouraged from thinking about it. I am 1 year, a little over a year removed from leaving my full-time job to pursue photography as a wedding photographer. So I'm going to use my experiences and my journey and my path to hopefully help you when making these decisions. So again, like I said, I'm a wedding photographer. I live in Virginia. Wedding photography is my main source of income. I also do family photos, graduation photos, other little things on the side to make money. Wedding photography is my main source of income. In the future, I'm hoping to add different things. We just started doing films. I'm very interested in doing more creative work with films, businesses and creatives, musicians, all stuff like that. But for the moment, right now, it's just wedding photography. Now, I've been doing this for about 10 years, but this past year was my first time as a full-time wedding photographer. For the last 7 years, I was a full-time firefighter and paramedic for the city that I was working in. I loved my job. I loved everything I did about it. It was a life-changing experience being a firefighter from the 9 months I did in the academy, all up until the moment that I left. And I made friendships that I still have to this day, lifelong friendships. But as much as I loved it, I knew that I always still wanted to pursue photography as a full-time job. I always had a passion for it. And you'll learn that if you have a passion for something, no matter what you're doing, no matter how well you're getting paid, if you have a passion for something, that passion will never go away until you can actually fully commit yourself to it. At least that was the experience for me. A year and a half ago, or really 2 years ago, I started to devise a plan on how I would make that passion or how I would continue to do that full time. It wasn't easy. Like I said, I made lifelong friendships with the people that I work with. It was hard to leave that behind. You know, you're talking about people that I saw almost more than my own family at certain times. So the first thing I did, which is a tip that I'll share with you if you're thinking about doing this, is to learn about what you want to do and the business of it before you actually take that leap, or learn before you leap. So what this involves is you doing a little bit of research about whatever field it is you're thinking about pursuing, how much it's paying, the future of it. Is it something that's going to be phased out in the near future? Researching how much the equipment is that you'll be needing for it if you haven't already. This is stuff that you should be doing in the meantime if you're thinking about making that jump. Now for me, since I've been doing this for 10 years, I had already accumulated a good collection of equipment, cameras, lenses, computers, software, and it's not cheap. Photography, I feel like, is one of the most expensive fields to be in just because of the gear that you have to use. And even outside of the cameras and lenses, there's other things that you have to account for, like lighting, stuff to store your gear in. There's so many things to account for, but like I said, over 10 years, I had accumulated all this stuff. Now, if you're just starting out, if you're looking to get into photography, I would say don't try to do everything in one purchase. You know, try to work your way up and, you know, slowly build up your collection of things. It'll happen over time. The amount of money that I've spent over 10 years on my gear is absolutely ridiculous. It's been so many things that I've bought and sold over the years, but that happened over time. So give yourself some time to actually build up that collection and don't put the pressure on yourself of buying everything in one go. So again, the tip for this time is to do some research about the field that you're going into, the future of it, the payout, the average salary, how much you can make, how much people are charging in your area, and how much you'll need to set to the side to actually build up the rest necessary equipment, anything else that you might need as far as resources. So for me, I looked up all that stuff. In my area, I had already been working weddings, doing it part-time. I knew how much I was going to charge. I knew how many weddings I needed to do to make the money I needed to provide for my family. And I had a good rhythm of how to do those things before I left my job. So I would suggest you do the same and just sit down over a few days and just say to yourself, okay, how much money do I need to make per month to have a sustainable living? The next thing I did when I left is I made sure that I had a good amount of savings set to the side. So if it didn't work out in the first couple of months, I knew that I had a good reserve to lean on and depend on just in case I needed it. So I think a good rule of thumb, most people say, is to have at least a year's worth of savings. That means mortgage, so you can pay your mortgage for a year. I know that that might not be possible for a lot of people. That is a lot of money just to set to the side. I actually set aside about 6 months of savings to the side before I left my job. Is it the best thing? Is it the safest thing? No, but I was very confident because of the research and because I have been doing this so long that I'd be fine. And I didn't have to dip into that savings, thank God. So I would say for a good, safe general rule of thumb, maybe set aside, if you can, 12 months of savings so that if things do go south, you have a reserve to pull from. So what you can do is, if you're thinking about pursuing something, maybe work at it part-time. This will give you some extra cash to work with if you do start to profit from it. And that cash that you make from your passion, you can use that as savings so that when you actually take that leap, you have something to rely on in case things don't go the way they're supposed to. Which brings me to my next tip. Before you actually fully commit yourself to go full-time, test it out, whatever you're going to do, as a part-time job. So for photography, for me, I had been doing this already on and off as a wedding photographer. I had good experience, I had a good rhythm, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I had all the equipment necessary to run a business, the computers, the cameras, the lenses, the software for editing. I had all that stuff, so when I left, I didn't miss a beat. When they leave a job and they go full-time doing something else, they haven't yet really established a routine. The last thing I did, which I definitely would recommend that you do, is that when you do leave your job, to leave on good terms. I know that it's so easy just to go ahead and walk out the door and not worry about anybody else or anything else that had to do with your job, but it is a safe thing to do, to leave on good terms with your job. You never know, you may have to come back, and you want to come back on good terms. You would like to leave that door open if possible. So I did leave on good terms with my job. I probably won't be going back anytime soon or at all, but it's good to know that I'm still on good terms. I still have good relationships with those people that I work with. And those relationships will probably just come around to help me in the future. You know, these people still call me if they need family photos. I've had people call me to have me photograph their weddings that I used to work with. So leaving on good terms has benefited me more than I thought it would. So I would suggest, if you can, try to leave on good terms. Also, if you're going to leave, definitely keep it to yourself. I know it's easy to go around telling and sharing somebody that's close to you because you just want to get those feelings and those thoughts out, but it's probably better to keep it to yourself. In the fire department, of course, for me, gossip got around real quick, so it was better for me to keep that information to myself so that I still didn't have to work there and people know that I was going to leave. I suggest you do the same. So the last thing you need to do while you're working at a job is for people to know you're leaving and you have to still work there in the meantime. So guys, this is just some of the stuff that I did before I left. Like I said, I'm a little over a year out of being a full-time wedding photographer. It's been a blessing, it's worked out great. We're still looking to add more things in the future. I'm very excited for the other things that we want to do, such as films, different things in photography other than weddings that we want to venture into. I have a family, you know, I have 4 beautiful children and a wife. So of course, me leaving my full-time job to pursue this, it was just a little bit more extra stress that I had, but thankfully, I'm still here, I'm still providing for my family, and I have a definite sense of accomplishment from it. I loved my job, but the fact that I'm doing something that I have control over, I make my own hours, I have creative control over, and that I can say that I truly put my input in, is something that I definitely don't take for granted. My kids get to see me living out my passions, and that's something that's also important to me. I get more time with my family than I ever did. Of course, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you definitely have a lot more weight on your shoulders and you are responsible for more, but mentally you are freer than if you were working for a job, to me. Like I said, guys, this is just some of the stuff that helped me. I definitely think you can do it. I'm wishing you the best if you are decided to take that leap. Like I said, I hope these tips help you, and I hope this video helps whoever's watching it. And we can't wait to bring you more content, guys. Please like and subscribe if this did help you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, guys.